Hello and welcome to part 2 in our series of PowerShell learning. Today in this video, we will review the PowerShell Help commandlet. The Help commandlet is a very powerful tool within PowerShell. It basically shows you how to use the various commandlets, and basically the accepted format, and again how it should be leveraged, each commandlet. So this is a very important topic that we're covering today. So with that said, let's jump right in. So if you go to your desktop and we go to VS Code. So within VS Code, and again, you can access VS Code, which we installed during our last video, which was part one, just basically setting up your environment. So you should already have VS Code installed. If not, please refer back to part 1 in this series. So you can access it one of two ways. If you click on your start menu, you can see you should have VS Code somewhere within your menu. Also, if you want to, you can go to the search and you can just type in Visual Studio and you'll see that it opens or it displays at the top. So basically what you want to do if you right click on this icon, and again, this is sort of a best practice. When you're running Visual Studio Code, you should always run as administrator. Just ensures that you're running with the appropriate permissions, and so that when you're writing your scripts, you're not limited in your functionality. So if you right click on it and click on Run as Administrator, that should launch Visual Studio Code. And again, you may receive this prompt. You can just select yes to proceed with opening Visual Studio. All right, so once Visual Studio Code opens, on the left side of the screen, you will see basically the Explorer. And what you want to do here is basically we need to point to a folder where our script files will be kept or maintained. So what you want to do is click on Open Folder. And you may have to go through and create a folder on your workstation for you to store your script file. In my case, I already have a folder called PowerShell Training. So I'm going to go to PowerShell Training. I created a folder called Help Cmdlets. And again, you can create a folder and name it whatever you would like. But for the purpose of this video, I named it Help Cmdlets. So if I select that and then select folder, that will then take me inside of that folder within Visual Studio Code. So on the left side, you'll see Help Cmdlet, which is telling me that I'm inside of my Help Cmdlet folder. And also at the bottom of the screen, you will see a path. This is the terminal window. And you'll see the full path. And basically, you can see I'm inside of my Help Cmdlet folder. Next thing we want to do is basically create a PowerShell script file. So you see this little icon at the top with the plus. So if you click on that and then just give it a name. I'm going to name this, for the sake of this video, Help Training .ps1. And also make sure you add the .ps1 on the end of it so that Visual Studio Code knows that it is PowerShell script file. And then you hit enter, and on the right side you will see that it opens up another tab with the name of the file that we just created, and now it's ready for us to start writing PowerShell scripts. So what we're going to do next is basically update, and again, this is very important. Make sure that you update your help files on your local workstation. And to do that, you basically have to go down. If you go to the bottom of the screen, which is the terminal window, you want to run the command update -help. And what this is going to do is basically pull all of the most recent, latest help files, Cmdlet help files from Microsoft's website. So it's going to make sure you're running with the latest and greatest version of the Cmdlets help files. So if you run that, that'll start the download process. And again, this may take several minutes. It just all depends on your internet connection and the performance of your workstation. So you'll see that it starts to download, and again, this may take several minutes. So we'll let this run. Okay, so once the help files are updated, you may encounter an error similar to what I have on my screen. And again, there's no need to be alarmed. As you can see, the module that is having an issue with is the config defender performance commandlet. And again, I just do not have that commandlet configured on my workstation, so that's why it's producing this this error message. But again, if you receive something similar, no need to be alarmed. You can just sort of disregard it and kind of move on. So the next thing we're going to do is take a look at the get help commandlet. So now that we have all of our the help commandlets updated, now we're going to actually take a look at how this commandlet is actually leveraged. So at the top of the screen, you should still be within this help training.ps1 file or whatever you may have named it. So typically the way it works is, if you need help with a particular command, you always start by typing git hyphen, and then as you can see on my screen, you can see that Visual Studio Code provides a rich IntelliSense, right? So it just gives me a list of commandlets, and it just kind of helps me identify which commandlet that I may be looking for. And again, this is what Visual Studio Code provides, so it's very, very helpful. So in this particular case, I'm looking for Git Help. So you see it has the Git Help module. And then after you type Git Help, you then type the commandlet that you need help with. So just to kind of backtrack just a little bit. So within PowerShell, you have Git and pretty much set for the most part commandlets. So the syntax is similar to, basically it is a verb and a noun. So the verb in this particular case is get, which is the action that you want to take. And then the noun in this case is the help. So that's the action, what item you want to take the action on. So in this case is get help. And then it's a get, because I'm trying to get some assistance with get service. So I just want to know how that commandlet works so that I can use it. So in this case, you see get service. And again, I get that rich IntelliSense to kind of help me out as well. And if I hover over top of this commandlet and hit F8, that'll just kind of run the selection for me, or run the commandlet for me, that command for me. And at the bottom is the terminal, which is it outputs the results of my command at the top. So if we scroll down, look at the bottom, you'll see it's giving me information about get service, because again, I asked for help with the get service. And you can see at the top is this the commandlet, which is get dash service, and it gives me a just brief synopsis of what it does. It gets the services on the computer, which means it just pulls all the services that I'm running on my computer. Then it also gives me a breakdown of the syntax, how it's supposed to be used. Then it also comes down, you see the description, and again, it gives you just detailed description of what it is and what it's used for. Gives you some related links as well. And also some, similar commandlets or commandlets that you may want to use as well. New service, restart service. So just different ones. And also something else worth noting as well. There's also another commandlet options that you can leverage as well. So in this case, if we did get help, get service, there are parameters that you can feed this to give you more information about a particular commandlet. So in this case, let's say if we wanted to get full. So you have full, which gives you pretty much everything about the commandlet, all the information about it. So if we were to run this, if I highlight it again and hit F8, it'll just run that selection and not the entire file. So you can see now when I typed in full, it gives me a lot more information about the Git service. So let's kind of scroll up so we can just take a look at that. And you can see, let's see if we go up. So you can see how descriptive it is now after running the full. So again, we get the same things as we received before, which is the name, synopsis, and the syntax. Gives you the description, and again, it gives you the parameters this time with a lot more information as well. So it's giving you a whole lot more information. Also, something worth noting here is it gives you some notes as well. And then within the notes section, you will see that it gives you some examples. So this is, again, very helpful when you're trying to figure out how to write or how to use a particular commandlet in this case. So if you scroll down, you can see example 1. So if I wanted to get all the services on my computer, I can just run git service. Also, if I wanted to filter by anything that starts with the WMI, I can do that as well. So I'm just kind of pointing out, again, it gives you examples, plenty of examples where you can use or how you can use this commandlet. So that just kind of goes back to what I was saying before. This is a very powerful tool. And it's definitely something you want to keep in your arsenal as you're writing PowerShell scripts. Because again, no one remembers every commandlet and how it's supposed to be used. So that's why, again, you have to leverage this help as much as possible. So again, you can also use, there's another option as well called git help, git service. And we'll just stick with git service for now. And there's an option called detailed, right? So it gives you more detailed information about the commandlet. Not as much as the full, because full just gives you just everything, all information about that commandlet. But if we run this detailed one, let's just see what type of information we get back. Right, again, so it just doesn't give you as much information as far as the properties and all, but it still gives you what's important is the examples. So again, you're getting all the examples. And just another one that's worth pointing out is git help. It's a git service again. So we'll just stick with the git service. And there's one called examples, a parameter called examples. So if we run this, and the difference here is it only returns the examples. So if you're only interested in the examples, you don't need all the other information about the parameters and all the other things that come with it. You can just run the git help, whatever the commandlet name is that you need help with, dash examples. And this will give you just the examples only. So you can see it's only providing the examples. So again, this is very helpful, very powerful commandlet that you should get used to, get familiar with when you're writing your PowerShell code. Also, another parameter worth noting is the git help service -online. So this is another great parameter that you can leverage. Again, if I execute this command, it's basically going to take me to my web browser, and it's going to give you basically the full documentation that's on Microsoft's website that pertains to that particular commandlet. Again, if you scroll down, you can see it just gives you information about the syntax, description of it, and several examples as well. And this may be more user-friendly, so you might want to leverage this option as well. And again, it gives you this various ways of using or leveraging that particular commandlet. So again, that's just something I wanted to make you aware of as well. Also, another commandlet worth noting is the git command. And basically what this command would do is basically retrieve all of the commandlets that's installed on your workstation. So it just gives you a complete list of all of the commandlets that's available, just in case you wanted to just kind of see what's available on your workstation, just to see what commandlets you can leverage within PowerShell. So again, it's just something worth noting. And again, if you scroll up, you'll be able to see just a list of all the commandlets that you can leverage. So just several things to keep in your arsenal. And on the next video, we'll jump into some more detail. We'll look at some of the Git service parameters and how you can leverage that, as well as some other functionality as well.